Alrighty, y'all. Welcome back to the show. We're looking at 10 amazing facts about Portugal. Again, only 10. I'm sure there's 100 or 1,000 facts you could come up with about any country. But this is just a quick 10. And this has been on my list a long time to finally break the ice here in Portugal. I've seen a little bit of Portugal through a more broad, just European topic videos. And I've seen some, like little video shots, drone shots, screenshots, whatever of Portugal, and I have to say it looks absolutely beautiful. We have lots of comments in a lot of videos from Portugal, so I think that's really exciting, and we've had many people say, please check out Portugal, some videos about it. It's been too long. It's about damn time. Let's take a look. This is from Top 10 Archives. This will be linked in the description down below. Make sure to check them out. Let's get into this. I'm excited.
To Top 10 Archive. On the southwestern edge of Europe, making up more than half of the west coast of the Iberian Peninsula, sits the country of Portugal, or the Portuguese Republic, with a history stretching back to prehistoric settlements and outdating some of the old...
Whoa, hold up. Remember, I'm going to be pausing when I see something spectacular. I love to admire things. Look at that. I've said this before about other things. Remember, you just don't see this kind of max level, like intricacies, on buildings and castles and churches and all these different things. This structure here, which I, of course, don't know what it is, I'm ready to be educated, is just phenomenal. Look at the sheer size of this. I know this is bigger in person than it appears on camera even. It even looks big on camera. It just looks amazing. I always sit here and think, how did someone build this? Like, how?
Some of the oldest European states. Portugal is rich with culture, history, and interesting little truths like those covered in this archive of amazing facts about Portugal.
Cool.
Number 10, cuisine of the Portuguese.
Oh, yeah.
One commonly enjoyed cuisine of Portugal is a simple dish of colorful vegetables dipped in a simple, airy batter and fried. That may sound like the Japanese cuisine of tempura, and that's because it's identical. In fact, it's believed the Portuguese introduced tempura, known locally as peixinha de horta, to Japan through 16th century Jesuit missionaries.
Oh, wow.
Of course, it's possible that the cuisine isn't even original to Portugal, as it may be a variation of the Indian cuisine, pacara. Other traditional Portuguese dishes worth chowing down on include calda verde, bacalhau bros, rochao somoda dominha, acorda aletiana, and arroz de pato. Number 9, famous people of Portugal.
You know what? Tell me some awesome Portuguese dishes that I should know about. Everyone loves food, and Portuguese food, that sounds yummy.
Ferdinand Magellan, Vasco da Gama, and Juan Rodriguez Cabrillo were notable explorers in history, all birthed within Portugal. The country has also been home to notable celebrities and sports stars, including footballers Luis Figo and Cristiano Ronaldo, football manager José Mourinho, actors Joaquim de Almeida and Luis Ferreira, actress Amalia Rodriguez, singer-songwriter Nuno Betancourt, pianist Maria João Pires, writer José Saramago, and poet Fernando Pessoa. Portugal is also home to an incredible selection of YouTube stars, including Circasio, Darkframe, Wuant, Mr. Nicky, and Mais Gizambo. Number 8, football and Portugal. In some countries, sports are just a simple means of entertainment. Other countries, like Portugal, tend to take their sports, especially football, a little more seriously. Introduced in the late 19th century, Portugal didn't introduce its first domestic football league, the Primeira Liga, until 1934. From then, though, football would eventually become the country's most popular sport, earning an average of 2.5 million spectators each season. Nationally, Portugal's team, which was introduced in 1921, has a history of ups and downs, reaching as low as 43rd and as high as 3rd in the FIFA World Ranking. But no matter the ranking, the pride in its team remains strong. In 2016, the national team earned its first UEFA European Championship against France. Number 7, the sights to see.
Yeah. Show me the sights.
This
is what I like.
European country is a natural wonder on its own. But there are many reasons why it was able to pull in an astonishing 10 million foreign tourists in 2015 alone. It could be that it's home to 14 UNESCO heritage sites.
14? Dang.
Including the Convent of Christ in Tomar, Lisbon's Monastery of...
That's what we were looking at earlier, I think, from a low angle. Look at how big that is. Whoa, let's just take in this screen here. That is beautiful. Look at the awesome gardens and landscaping down here. This fountain, I love the hills. You can see these buildings just going up this hill here. We have some construction in the back. You see the cranes, some more modern buildings, I suppose. We have what looks to be a pretty impressive sports arena. And we have these red tile, I think those are red tile, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong. These red tile roof structures in the middle here. It's just a beautiful shot, isn't it? Wow.
Pyramids and Tower of Belém, Sintra's cultural landscape.
Wow.
And the historic Centras of Évora and Guimarães. Other notable locations undoubtedly attracting visitors include the largest artificial underwater park, Ocean Revival, where divers can explore 4 decommissioned Navy ships, the archipelago of Azores, and Madeira, the island between Portugal and North.
Yes, Madeira. This is popular, right? I have heard of this just browsing the internet before in different forums and travel type things. Pretty sure this is a hotspot, yeah?
The island between Portugal and North Africa, known as the Floating Garden of the Atlantic for its expansive green landscape. History buffs will enjoy some time at the National Museum of Ancient Art, while nature lovers are going to want to visit the Lisbon Zoo and Zoo Marine Algarve.
Nice.
Number 6, making leaps in renewable energy. Despite what you may think about global warming, it should be easy to agree that a push away from fossil fuels to natural renewable sources of energy, such as wind, the tides, and geothermal heat, can be beneficial to the environment.
Seems logical to me.
While some countries are lagging in diminishing fossil fuel use, Portugal is at the top of its game and has become a world leader in renewable energy.
Impressive.
For a period of 4 days in May of 2016, every electrical source in the country was converted to solar, wind, and hydrogen power, creating 107 hours of zero emissions. The successful test isn't far off from a long-term reality, as in February and April of 2016, Portugal reported that 95.5% of its electricity was provided by renewable resources.
That's amazing.
When converted to the equivalent of millions of tons of oil, Portugal only ranks 15th behind major powers like the United States, China, and the United Kingdom. Number 5, Portuguese records galore. Ever wonder what 15,000 Santa Clauses in one area would look like?
What?
Had you been in Portugal in December of 2010, you would have found out. In an effort to raise money for Christmas gifts for children in need, just under 15,000 Santas paraded through the streets. For every Claus that crossed the finish line, roughly $1 was donated. In 2012, Portugal moved from holiday figures to food. Weighing in at 6.466 tons, or about 14,255 pounds, the omelet was presented on August 11, 2012, and was made by the Câmara Municipal de Ferreira do César, or the Ferreira do César City Council. 55 people and 6 hours were required to build this 145,000 egg creation, which also used 880 pounds, or 400 kilograms, of oil and 220 pounds, 100 kilograms, of butter. In August 2015.
Hey, that's pretty cool, though. Get one big look there. Who doesn't love an omelet for breakfast? I wonder how tasty it was, right? I wonder how many people they were able to serve with that. And the other record, the Santas, how funny is that? I would have never guessed. That's why learning facts is always interesting. That would be pretty fun, I imagine.
100 kilograms of butter.
Santa Festival.
In August 2015, Portugal threw its hat into the ring again with the largest bobbin lace, measuring at 53.262 square meters, or about 573.3 square feet. Number 4, Portugal's impact on the age of exploration. Earlier on, we mentioned 3 notable Portuguese explorers, Ferdinand Magellan, Vasco da Gama, and Juan Rodrigues Cabrillo, who were part of a vast worldwide movement known as the Age of Exploration. Despite not being a region of considerable size, Portugal played a large role in the discovery of the unexplored world. As far back as the late 13th century, under the rule of King Geniz, Portugal was interested in exploration, and in 1341 surveyed the Canary Islands of Africa. Portugal explorers, including Bartholomew Diaz, were mostly responsible for circumnavigating the African continent in an effort to take over the Moorish trade routes to Asia. Within a period of 100 years, Vasco da Gama continued the route around Africa and navigated to India. Magellan led, but died during, the first voyage around the globe. Pedro Álvares Cabral discovered Brazil, and trade to Asia was solidified after Portuguese explorers became the first Europeans to land in Japan. Number 3, Old European Soul. Since 1139, the region of Portugal has shared the same borders it does today. And while it may not be the oldest country in Europe, if we're...
It is a, remember, I'm a flag guy. I like learning about flags. This is a cool flag. I like the red and green. That's something you don't see on tons of flags. You see red and green usually with white or some other colors, kind of laced in there. This is just straight red and green dominant, and I think it's cool. It's very Christmassy. Very interesting. I like the flag.
Talking technicalities, and when it gained independence, it certainly has a history dating considerably farther than many of its neighbors. Where much of Portugal's ancient history lies is in the coastal city of Lisbon, which...
Dang, that is just gorgeous. Wow, that is beautiful.
Portugal's ancient history lies is in the coastal city...
Look at that. Oh my God. I just want to like take a stroll down there. Early morning, you got the people out on their balconies here. Everyone's probably having shouting like, hey, saying hi to their neighbors. And you got the hills and all these colorful buildings with the beautiful blue ocean in the distance there. Wow.
Of
nice.
Lisbon, which has a history that even predates the Roman Empire, with settlements appearing around the Neolithic era via pre-Celtic tribes. Legends of Lisbon's official formation are attributed to Ulysses, who is said to have founded the region on his trek home from Troy.
So Portugal, safe to say, got lots and lots of history.
Rome slowly rose to power and the empire's influence flourished. The Iberian Peninsula, or Hispania, became Roman land, and Lisbon, renamed Felicitas Julius, became a central city under Julius Caesar. Number 2. The Umayyad Muslim invasions. During the 5th century BC, the peninsula was invaded by Germanic forces, and a portion of what would become Portugal fell under the rule of the Visigothic kingdom. That is, of course, until 711 CE, when the Umayyad Caliphate, an Arab dynasty, sought control of Hispania from the Visigoth and launched an invasion. For 7 years, the Umayyad, or the Moors, controlled a large portion of the peninsula, including Lisbon. Not willing to let go of their land so easily, in 718 CE, the Visigoth returned to reclaim their territory from Muslim control. Even after the land was pulled back from the Moors and the smaller states reformed as a union, Portugal remained independent. Number 1. Portugal's control of the East. As we know, Portugal was one of the leading countries when it came to exploration, and in 1494, all of that hard work paid off. On June 7, 1494, the Treaty of Tordesillas was signed, dividing newly discovered and unclaimed lands outside of Europe between Portugal and the Crown of Castile.
It's interesting seeing like an old depiction of the world like that. Like look at Newfoundland, Hispaniola down here. And there's that dividing line.
Dividing newly discovered and unclaimed lands outside of Europe between Portugal and the Crown of Castile. Signed by Ferdinand II of Aragon, Isabella I of Castile, John, Prince of Asturias, and John II of Portugal, the treaty aimed to eradicate concerns over territorial claims after Columbus stumbled upon the New World. From the treaty, Portugal was only given possession of Brazil and other minor parts of South America, while Spain profited with much of North and South America. The terms of the agreement and the lines drawn often came under scrutiny, leading Portugal to unsuccessfully attempt colonization of parts of present-day Canada.
Wow. That's it. Top 10 amazing facts about Portugal. They were 10 facts, that's for sure. I think there's probably, like I said, tons more. So any facts that you think are very interesting that you would like to share, I'm all ears. I do appreciate it. Tell me in the comments. And, of course, suggestions. This is such a community-based YouTube channel, so almost everything that I feature on this channel is suggestions from you, the viewer. So any other facts videos or Portugal videos that I should know about, you got to tell me down below. I'm intrigued. Looks like a beautiful place. Some questions I have that you can answer too, and then I can dive into in further videos is like weather. I'm a weather nerd as well. I imagine being that they have a lot of coastline, and then the border, it doesn't go too far inland. I imagine pretty much most of Portugal has a pretty good climate, definitely a mild climate. I don't think they get snow. I don't think they get, horrible, like below zero temperature, 0 Fahrenheit, that is. Quite frankly, I would assume they probably don't get many 0 degrees Celsius temperatures, honestly. I feel like it's probably a warmer country based on the scenery I saw. It looks pretty nice. So, for example, Portugal is definitely in the northern hemisphere, just like the United States. So, obviously, the U.S. has extreme varied climates depending on where you're at. But here, right now, currently in Chicago, it is wintertime, and it's 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Not too bad. That's pretty warm for us. And quite frankly, right now, as we speak, it's 45 degrees Fahrenheit in Lisbon, Portugal. So just about the same. Although, when you look at the forecast, it is warmer. Lots of sunshine and highs of 60s, basically, most days. In Lisbon, Portugal, and that is much higher because right now it's just very humid and in Chicago, and it's basically been 40s all day and all through the night. You don't see much higher than 44, 45. Some days are going to be in the 20s or even the teens for really low temperatures. So yeah, Portugal, they have a good climate, especially if that's winter. But that's about it for this one. Much more to come. I am so stoked about this channel, the diversity we're able to feature here. I'm learning about so many different places, and it's honestly the best feeling. It's really, really fun. I love our community with so many different people from around the world. It's very, very entertaining, inclusive, satisfying. It's just an awesome bunch of people we have on this channel, and I love it. Throw a like on there if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe to be part of this amazing community. And until next time, y'all, my name is Ian. You're watching IWrocker, and I'll catch you later.